As an author, being a storyteller is a great advantage.
The story I would like to share with you is a story about a character known as Gluskabe. They say he looked like a human being, sometimes he acted like a human being, but he had some special powers.
I first started hearing stories at a young age. My father would come into my room, my brother's room, and share traditional stories with us.
And because he was using his eyes and his ears, he noticed that there ahead of him, where the brush was thick, the leaves were moving a bit.
Among my favorites were the animal stories and, of course, the monster tales.
These monsters were 15, 16 feet tall, all covered with slimy fur, with red, fiery eyes, razor-sharp teeth, and claws.
A smaller person could overcome the greatest of odds, even if those odds are in the form of a big, ferocious monster. Hearing those animal stories, of course, inspired me to eventually want to go into the woods and see those actual animals I had been hearing stories about.
They say that when that boy left that lodge on that night, there waiting for him was an animal. There waiting for him was Fox.
I started telling these stories when I was sitting around the campfire. I started teaching wilderness survival skills, tracking skills in my late teenage years. And when I was sitting around the campfire, people would often ask, "Hey Jim, your dad's a storyteller. Do you tell stories?" And I'd say, I don't tell those stories. I know them, but I don't tell them. I love to teach about nature, but the joke is I probably spend more time nowadays in schools sharing stories. As a storyteller, you bring the stories to life.
Red Squirrel, what will you do when you see the first human beings?
I need to become the characters in the story, to act it out a little bit.
When I see the first human beings, I go pick up giant boulders and trees and hurl them at them. And I'll go to land, tear to pieces everything I can find.
You truly bring those stories to life, and you allow your audience to be part of that story. Many of the stories I share were around way before books. If you look at a particular culture's stories, it's really a window into that culture. A lot of people think that stories are just for kids, but of course everyone enjoys a good story, young to old. Stories can keep you safe, they can connect you to who you are, where you live, connect you to the rest of creation, and of course they can make you laugh and sometimes scare you a little bit.